If you're looking for a calm, cozy story, you can curl up with. No matter your age, you're in the right place. Today's tale is filled with soft forests, magical surprises, and a gentle mystery that's been whispering through the trees for generations. So, make yourself a warm drink, wrap up in a blanket, and let's begin. And in this small country, there's a deep, quiet forest. People here grow herbs in their windowsills, and they leave bowls of milk out for foxes and owls, just in case. The sun rose gently over Bellwood, painting the rooftops with soft gold. Dew clung to the petals of lavender and roses, and little bees buzzed lazily in the gardens. Inside the bakery, the smell of fresh bread and honey butter rolls filled the air. It was a good, peaceful morning. But the peace didn't last. That day, strangers arrived. They came with heavy boots, large backpacks, and wide eyes. Some wore robes, others had maps or little cages tucked under their arms. One woman carried a long notebook filled with scribbles. Another man had a compass that spun wildly whenever he stood near the woods. They weren't loud or mean, just restless. The townsfolk watched from windows and porches. They didn't say much, just offered warm tea and soft warnings. The forest is old, or it doesn't take kindly to rushing. Among the visitors was a young boy named Ellis. He was quiet, with curly hair and eyes that looked like clouded glass, soft, curious, and thoughtful. He didn't speak much, but he listened. He wandered gently through the town, stopping to help an older man gather apples and listening to the wind chimes outside the candle shop. He didn't ask about the animal. He just smiled, nodded, and sat near the forest's edge each evening, sketching leaves and squirrels and little sleeping birds. One day, an old woman named Meryl, who kept bees behind her cottage, called him over. "You don't want to find it, do you?" she asked, handing him a cup of lavender tea. Ellis looked up and shook his head. "I just want to see. Not to take, not to touch. Just see." Meryl smiled softly. "That's how the forest likes it." That evening, when the moon hung low and the lanterns swayed in the trees, Ellis walked into the woods. The other visitors had already gone in before him, some rushing, some whispering plans. But Ellis didn't rush. He walked softly. He hummed to the moss and apologized when he stepped on twigs. He followed a glowing beetle, then a drifting feather. The air grew still, almost warm, like the forest was listening. Then he saw it. The animal stood in a clearing of white flowers. It had fur that shimmered like soft stars and large, watching eyes. It was beautiful, gentle, wild, and it stepped forward. Ellis stood perfectly still. The animal was close now, so close he could see little specks of light on its fur, like glowing dew. Its breath was soft and warm. It looked at him for a long time, with eyes that felt older than the forest itself. And then, it gently lowered its head and touched its nose to his hand. There was no bite, no pain, just a soft, buzzing warmth that filled Ellis from his fingertips to his toes. The next morning, He woke up in Meryl's garden. She was sipping tea, humming to her bees. "You made it back," she said, offering him a fresh roll with honey. Ellis nodded, blinking sleepily. Something inside him was different, but not in a loud or showy way. As days passed, small things began to happen. Flowers opened when he passed by. Birds followed him as if he carried music in his pockets. He could sense the mood of the forest, the joy in blooming moss, the sadness in fallen leaves, the excitement of rain clouds overhead. He never told anyone exactly what he saw. He didn't need to. The animal had given him what he asked, for not power, not fame, but understanding. Eventually, the other visitors left, some disappointed, some too frightened to stay, but a few found peace in Bellwood and decided to remain. They learned to listen to the trees, to the wind, and to the way magic hums softly, almost like a lullaby, in every living thing. And as for Ellis, he stayed. He tended to a little garden just beside the forest and taught the children how to hear the songs in the leaves. At night, he lit a lantern for the animal not to call it, but to thank it. Because in a world full of loud magic and big wishes, sometimes the greatest gift is simply learning how to be gentle. Thank you for joining us for this soft and magical tale. If you enjoyed the journey into the forest, don't forget to like, subscribe, and come back next time for more cozy stories full of wonder, peace, and warmth. Until then, keep your lanterns lit and your hearts open. Lucci.